No more content. People are like, no, actually, we do actually need to discuss something. So there was a lot of news this week, right? There was a lot of news this week. You are cringe ear free. Thanks, Aboodle. Yes. So yeah, a lot of things happened this week in VTuber land, guys. First of all, we'll talk about the good thing, right? Fraiki got a new outfit coming end of the month. Everybody should look forward to it. It's going to be good. She's going to do a 10-day donathon to go with it. That'll be fun. I think that'll be fun, guys. So go, make sure you check her out. Go check that out. New outfit coming soon. 10 days time. Definitely go and check her out. Moving on to the next thing. The one that everybody I know is like talking about at the moment. Atrum don't graduate too. I'm too old to graduate now. I'm stuck here. I'm like the furniture that doesn't move now. But yes, the main thing that everybody's been talking about this week is, of course, Aqua, Ateshi, the Onion Girl herself. She is graduating from Hololive. And for those who are uninitiated, don't know, she was one of the second generation, I think it was. So she was she's been with the company like six years, I think it is this month, in fact, that she's been with the company 6 years. So obviously loads of people know her. She does a load of stuff, especially at the start of things and all that sort of stuff. She's a bit more well known now for, you know, being the quiet one and doing the Apex stuff. But she's leaving Hololive. It's a big deal. She's a, you know, well respected, well liked member. So everybody's talking about it this week. I think this is the thing, right, guys? If you've been doing anything for 6 years, and that's in any job, right? I mean, some people love being in the same role, doing the same things all the time, and you got to understand, some people don't want to do that for all the time. She's been there for 6 years. The company has changed so much since she's been there, like massively, right? Like that, Hololive as an entity has changed so much since she arrived. Because the main reason she's given for leaving is literally because difference of direction that she wants to take versus what the company wants to take. She's been there 6 years. She's seen the company evolve from like a small company to the explosion of growth they had to what they are now. They're a behemoth in the industry, right? So it's understandable. People will be not annoyed, sad that she's leaving and stuff like that. But don't be parasocial about it. It'll obviously suck, and she'll have a good month before she goes away, right? She's going on like the 20. I think it's 28th, right? August 28th. So everybody will have a good time. They'll all be in there for the chat. She'll get a good send-off. There's no drama. It's all good. I only see this as like, it's a good end, right? It sucks that it is ending for her, but it's also a good end. Being a VTuber is costly. Yeah. Being a VTuber is costly. It's something that's really costly, but if you're really good at stuff, you can do your own artwork, you can do your own models and rigging and stuff like that. Any element that you can do yourself reduces the cost, right? But the only reason it's in that state right now, where most people can become a VTuber, is because of people like Aqua. And because of what Hololive are able to do with people like Aqua. And yeah, like I say, she has like a little bit of social anxiety. Maybe they do a lot more of the idle and advertisement and promotional stuff now. Versus when she just used to literally log on, go into Apex and do some streams. Like, it's changed from then. And it's understandable that she might want to move on from that, right? So, all I would say is, don't go crazy parasocial about it or anything like that. It's going to suck, but give her a good send-off. I'm quite certain everybody will give Aqua a good send-off. There's no bad blood between her and the company. It's just literally a partner of the ways. And that's the best way that a VTuber can go. I think this speaks to a bigger thing about the VTuber industry, and especially Hololive and bigger entities like Nijisanji as well, which we'll get onto in a minute. When a person's been there for so long, they've been doing the same things, or the company restricts them in a certain way, maybe they can't be as creative or anything like that. Some people don't like that as well. So it is what it is. Hololive has become a behemoth now. It is what it is as well. But as long as we get those good ends, like if people have that, I think you might see like a little bit of a mini wave now. In the next 6 months, maybe Hololive and things like that, you might see a little mini wave of people thinking, well, actually, we are moving in a different direction. I've been here for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, depending on who it is, obviously. Maybe it is time to move on. Like, I wouldn't be overly surprised if that does happen. Obviously, it sucks when it does happen, but when your favourite streamer does that. But yeah, it's how streaming works and how VTubing works, especially. It's a bit sad to say, with her the best. Still feel the day Mio and Ayami graduate. I mean, again, they've been there a very long time as well, haven't they? I think the thing with Ayami is the company were very, very, very lenient with her streaming schedule at one point, right? And I think that means Ayami will probably feel like she's obliged to like stay with them a little bit longer. But when she thinks the time is right, she will eventually move on as well. The big thing you can hope for with these big companies is they leave on a high, and Aqua is leaving on a high. So yeah, it's good in that respect, right? No problems, no issues, no drama, just I think I'm ready to leave now. And everybody's got to respect that. Okay, or maybe they really hate the Dodgers. Fucking Dodgers. Okay, yeah, that's the real reason. This leads me on to the other thing, right? So, in the midst of all that, Aqua's obviously taking all the headlines. She's the big, VTuber that's leaving. It's all the thing, right? In the midst of that, obviously, probably, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, Idol were bought out by another company. I can't remember, the name of it escapes me, right? But they also own another company that is V4UI or something? V4UI or something like that? Anyway, so Idol, they essentially ran out of money. But, right, they gave all of their talents, all of their existing talents, a choice. They were like, stay with us, see how it goes, we'll do some new stuff, there will be some different things going on, we'll get you 3D debuts and all that sort of stuff. Or, if you don't like the way that, the direction we're going in, or anything like that, you can obviously move on, we'll give you our blessings, we'll give you a good send-off and all that sort of stuff. But, if you also want to agree with us and you want to keep your IP and your model, give a little bit of a payment plan with us over the year, and it will pay us back for the model and the IP, and you can keep it going forward. So, most of the streamers did stay. 5 of them didn't. And there's basically 5 of them are leaving. The Isekai group is basically going, right? Yeah. I feel Rin Perez did the smart move because I feel she was the most known by them by far. 100%. 100%. So this is the thing, right? Yes, it's Brave Group who bought them. You're right, Reldy. But yeah, Juna is leaving, Rin is leaving. But the big one there is Rin, right? So everybody was like, oh, Rin's leaving? Damn. So she is graduating, but not really, because she gets to keep the IP, and she gets to keep the username, and she can carry on as she's going, and she's got, 750,000 followers? I think that the way Idol's gone about it is actually a pretty big win. So there will be some people that say, oh, haven't you made enough money off them, just give them the IP and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not how IPs and assets work, right? They are worth something to the company, and therefore, I think the way they've done it is, if we take a certain revenue share, which they've negotiated with each of the talents each time, it means that they can keep their IP and they can keep growing. They can do whatever they want as an indie. I think it's good. I think this is a good development. And I actually think this should be an option at more companies. I don't think the big hitters like Hololive or Niji or anything like that will do that. But everybody else, I think, can and should. I think it's really good that they're able to keep the IP, carry on. Rin's not going anywhere. She's leaving that company, but she's not going anywhere. I think that's really good. I doff my hat to Idol Corp for allowing the talents to do that. And as you say, the people who are there, they're like, you know what, I think I want to do this on my own. I don't want to be maybe as restricted. I'm going to carry on with my IP and do that. So, yeah, I thought that was good. Then we're going to move on to the bad. So, another Nijisanji talent is leaving. Is it Hex? Hex Haywire, is it? Yeah, it's Hex Haywire is leaving, right? So, they announced that today or yesterday evening or this morning or something. I've seen some of the stuff around it is not going so well. Basically, Nijisanji have once again found themselves somehow in a hole that they've dug for themselves. And to a lesser extent, Hex has dug for himself as well. But they just can't get a win at the moment. And Nijisanji really struggling. They cannot get a win at the moment. We are watching a company fail in slow motion, and it's really weird. It's really to watch a company fail so hard. Nijisanji does have some good talents, but they just don't know how to manage them or what to do with them or what to do with the EN situation in general. Or I think they're struggling. They're struggling. They're not done yet. They can recover. There's still a way to recover. The longer it goes on, the longer it will take to recover. And unfortunately, they just keep getting road bump after road bump. Most of them of their own making, unfortunately. But yeah. It's not hard to have an option to sell the IP since they won't be able to hire someone else to use it. Yes. So most of the time when you see this red, it would just be, no, the IP's ours, go away, you're gone. And I think that happens in most companies. In most VTuber companies that we see. But I think it's a good option that should be available to more, especially for those mid to small entities where that happens. I think Holo doesn't do this because of the JP copyright laws where buying silly IPs is basically a nightmare. Also true. Everything's on paper. That's why, Dragu. Everything's literally written down on paper. You can't find it online. Maybe Hex soon be second boy in Vshojo. Could be. And to be fair, this is where my final thoughts were going to head to. There's a spate of graduations, right? Got Idle EN. 5 people have moved on from what they were doing and they're going to become independent. So they can now go off and do whatever they want, right? Aqua's leaving Hololive. Different direction, all that stuff, that's fine, right? And then you've got, Nijisanji, Hex left. There's a couple of others from Nijisanji that left recently as well, right? Vshojo just closed their applications for both JP and EN guys. There's a distinct possibility that any of those talents, the idle ones might have signed a deal where they're exclusive to have to stay independent for that year, maybe where they've still got their IP. But if they haven't signed anything like that, they are open also to go to these roles, right? Aqua maybe won't go, but it depends how big Vshojo JP want to go, right? They may very well have spoken in regard. We'll give you a bit more freedom. You can stream and do your Apex streams. You can do whatever like creative thing you might want to do. Or you can just literally log in and stream. It depends. They might have done that. It's a distinct possibility. They also might not have. Aqua might just be like, nah, I'm not interested, and moves on. Who knows? Who knows? But it is amusing that the Vshojo application stuff just ended. Very amusing that the Vshojo stuff just ended, and a lot of free agents have just turned up in the market, you know? So, yeah. I don't think we can join another company with the revenue share deal in effect. Yeah, that's a possibility. So those that left and have the revenue share deal, they might not be able to leave for that year anyway, for that first year, but we'll see. Aqua, I'm not sure, but Aqua is a possibility, but I'm not sure. Yeah, and nobody can be sure, right? It's when you hear those first words of the new person, whether it be on like the, because when they did it with Nazuna, they did it in a trailer, didn't they? Nazuna breathed and everybody knew. Exactly, right? That's exactly it. That's what everybody's going to be looking out for the new debuts for the JP Vshojo stuff and the EN Vshojo stuff. I think more likely the JP Vshojo could be some surprises in there. I hope whoever joins Vshojo has the best possible experience and success. Yeah, exactly. Look, Vshojo has gone from the drama llama team when certain people were there to actually they're getting a bit more respect now on their name. Vshojo getting a bit more respect on their name. Yes, they got a little bit of there's a joke with them being like the retirement home for certain people. They're winning. They're winning big at the moment. Bringing on the talents that they did more recently has worked for them. Yes, there's some nepotism stuff going on there where it's, you know, it's people they know, people that are already big and all that sort of stuff. But I promise you the talents they chose were great. Getting Henya on board, absolutely big brain. Getting Giga on board, absolutely big brain. Getting Haruka on board, big brain. So many people, and we know this because I know a lot of people in this group are Hive Mind, right? So you guys are from Nags' community, you're watching Nags, you know, if you're coming to me as well, thank you, hello. But anybody from that community, there's like 1,000 people watching Nags, right? Everybody in that group knows Haruka. Haruka getting Vshojo, if they didn't watch Vshojo before, they would now, now that Haruka's there. Who? Yeah, alright, Red, okay. Sorry, I meant how to car. Yeah, sorry, I meant to say how to car. There we go. In before you typed it, it's fine. That was a big win. It was a big win. It's a big audience chunk that they got just from that. It was a big audience chunk they got from Henya. We know that tea kettle sound anywhere, right? Yes, but I'm hoping they get new people this time. It's all going to be people that already have identity, then they're going to have a bad stigma, and Zen has said that herself. Yeah, I think they do need some 100% relative. So that last wave that they got in, there was no new blood, as it were. It was all recycled people who just graduated, just moved on, just joined, or whatever. I think this new wave probably does need some fresh blood, or lesser known. Yeah, essentially, yes, for Vshojo to be taken properly seriously again, in terms of, like, recruitment, right? Because if they go down the nepotism route again, it's not going to go down well. I think you might see 1 or 2 people between both branches, I mean. So if they add, like, 4 to both, right? I think you might see 1 in each group where it's somebody a bit more well-known. You might know who they are. But I think for the most part, they probably won't, right? But yeah, on the whole, Vshojo doing what they're doing at the moment. They're doing well. They're one of the big 3 now. I think FaZe are coming up on the rails to be in that big 3 instead of Niji. But it depends how things go over the next year. Because there's a lot going on in FaZe all the time at the moment. Some of their talent's a little bit more controversial than others as well. So we'll see. Yeah, at the moment, Nijisanji not looking good. It's like the slow death of like a giant happening before your eyes. It remains to be seen whether they can turn it round. They can still turn it round, but it depends on what happens with the. It depends what happens with the EM branch. I think if they go nuclear option on the western side of things and they just stick to the JP branch, then yeah, they'll shrink massively as a company, right? Niji doesn't even feature the EN side separately anymore. Exactly, they've had to go dark, especially on the EN side, on any western side of any advertising and all that. They've had to go dark. It's crazy. I used to see Nijisanji clips all the time. Never see him in Nags' chat anymore. Never see him in Ko's anymore. Never see him in Evanito's anymore. Never see him in mine anymore. I know all 3 of them are bigger streamers than I am, but I'm telling you from, you know, They're not in reacts anymore. There's rarely any clips anymore. It's a shame because like, one of my favourite streamers from Nijisanji is Enna, right? Enna Alouette's great. She's got a great voice, all that sort of stuff. She can be very entertaining. She does some really interesting things. I don't see any clips of her anymore. Nobody's clipping any of her stuff. None of it gets pushed. None of it gets recommended. A lot of the clippers for Nijisanji have just disappeared, or they've moved on to indies, or they've moved on to Hollow, or they've moved on to, you know, Face Connect, or Idol, or EIEN, or, you know what I mean? All those types. All those types. Sad for the talents, but the company is the major image. Yeah, 100%. For sure. Anyway, guys.